Hello, everyone, guys, and welcome back to the Liquidity Lounge, the podcast where we dive deep into the fascinating world of Web3. Today, we're going on a journey beyond the hype, exploring the realities, challenges, and untapped potential of this transformative technology, and where its impact could be truly groundbreaking. And actually, we're not just talking about trendy technology, we're talking about real world solutions to pressing issues like poverty, access to healthcare, financial inclusion. So, yeah, we're talking about empowering communities, building resilient infrastructure, and creating a more equitable future. Today, with me on the panel, Michael from Venture World, from a team of connectors that match venture capital, launchpads, influencers, and so on, a lot of partners and cool bakers. So yeah, how are you doing, Michael? How's your mood?
Hey, Paula, thank you for invitation and for the introduction. Um, all good, all good. Actually, my second AMA for today, so I'm a bit warmed up already.
Awesome. So your story recently on a Telegram, and yeah, actually very cool that you participating in so much. spaces. Do you like that lifestyle?
Oh, well, actually, there was almost a 2 year pause for me. So, and now it's two in one day, so just coincidentally. But yeah, it's very cool. I think the timing is right to get back into crypto full scale and get back into Twitter Spaces as well.
Awesome. So, guys, listeners, buckle up and get ready to go beyond the surface. We're going to be dissecting the fundamental differences between investing in traditional startups, Web3 projects, in emerging Web3 markets. So, actually, as for the agenda, maybe firstly, Michael, you can just tell us a little bit about your background and about venture world more.
Sure. So I'm in crypto since 2017. Started buying some coins and basically last bull run I joined full time and I've been working on multiple roles. I started as head of partnerships and in one startup and then moved to CMO and also founded my own company for in the gamify field. But then the bear market struck and our IDO happened basically around Luna FTX crashes, so it wasn't super successful. So after a year, almost a year of struggle, we closed that project, and I was helping other companies mostly as an advisor. And also throughout that journey, I got a lot of network, like connections with VCs and some good people into crypto, like real OGs. So after that, like almost a year ago, I launched Venture World because we saw a big issue on the market that startups are looking for fundraising and it's very, very hard to get it. So because I was helping other projects before and had investors from my previous company, so I started leveraging those connections and basically helping founders. At first on a smaller scale, but now we have already more than 200 partners. We actually participate in top conferences. We source really good projects that have high potential in the market, and we connect them to VCs, launchpads, market makers, CXs, and anything else they might need, including influencers.
Awesome, great. Love to hear that. Huge potential and awesome achievements. But as for today's agenda, I hope that you're ready for accepting this pressure of the questions, because I have a lot to discuss on the topic that I point out venture capitals in emerging markets. But I think it's essential for listeners to get through some basics, like what are the fundamental differences between investing in traditional startups and Web3 projects in emerging markets, and does the due diligence process change? Because those are the basics that need to be discussed first of all. So yeah, any thoughts, Michael?
Well, before joining crypto full time, I was working on my startup in it's basically in chatbot social media style company, but in modern days, probably people would call it AI. So we were fundraising, and before that, I also was like part of three companies, like co-founding. And so basically, I was fundraising for a while in traditional finance and in traditional startup space. And it's basically crypto, as you well aware, it's Web2 on steroids. Fundraising is no different. You could spend like couple years closing the round of $500,000. That's absolutely normal situation for the startup at seed stage in Web 2, while in Web 3 you can close same amount in a matter of week, especially if it's a bull market. So it's hard to compare these. Web3 is definitely way faster and much more interesting in 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 this, if you can say so. But it's also way more riskier. Uh, but ROIs can also be much higher.
True. Agree. So as for like traditional startups, the ones you see on Shark Tank, businesses operating with existing frameworks, and they raise money from investors, build a team, launch a product or service. Think Uber, Airbnb, or even your local coffee shop. I don't know. The three projects, on the other hand, are built on a blockchain technology. This is, of course, haha. And they're like digital communities. So, what's the difference when it comes to investing? Well, I think in traditional startups, you're investing in a company with a clear business model, a team you can meet, a tangible assets. Hope in Web3, it also gonna be like this, but you're betting on their ability to execute and build a successful business here. With Web3 projects, things get a bit more complex. In my opinion, you're investing in a technology that's still evolving with potential for massive growth, but also risk. And the project success depends on community engagement, developer talent, and the other adoption of blockchain technology. And maybe we can talk about the due diligence. How it differ?
Well, as I mentioned, for Web 2 side, it can take months and several stages with lots of back and forth on the document side, on the meetings and reports, especially if it's seed stage and beyond, where there is like starting from 500K round or up to, well, endlessly basically. So it's a lot of paperwork, very time consuming. Basically, CEO is spending a lot of his time, majority of his time, on fundraising. It's very hard to run a company when basically you need to fundraise. The worst part is when you raise some funds, you can estimate that it will last only that much. So you already need to start fundraising for the next round. Um, in Web3, due diligence is mandatory, but it's way, way faster. It's, I would say it's only like 1 or 2% of what the real due diligence in Web2 is like. So yeah, it's two different worlds right now. Do we really want Web3 to become as Web 2 fundraising processes are? Maybe in the future. But for now, we still don't know what would happen like in a month, both technology-wise and trend-wise. So for now, VCs, I mean, like real fundamental VCs in crypto, um, it's it's mostly like betting, where you have to pick projects with higher potential to survive during the next bear market. So that's their strategy, more long term. And of course, yeah, short term, I mean, VCs that are less fundamental, they just want to make as much money as possible. Um, they are trying to follow the market and the trends, which is not the case in Web 2. So trends are there, but mostly bets are on the team, bets are on the ability to have product market fit, and the growth potential is also a priority. So yeah, that's probably the answer from me.
Got it. I agree with you that as for now, it is two different worlds, but actually, I do believe that soon maybe it can shift to another level. And in terms of due diligence, of course, Web3 is in a deep need of learning from Web2, because for Web3 projects, you of course need to dive deeper into some technology and long-term vision of the product and so on. But a lot of companies skip a lot of steps, and this is bad because we're here to create decent Web3 market in the future. And I do wanna so I do want a really interesting projects on the market that really help in solving projects, in solving some problems for society and for different communities. I don't know. I think this is what we need right now in terms of all the risks and so on. But well, maybe we can talk more about what about building new industries entirely. What are the most exciting opportunities emerging in these markets, like Web3?
So I'd say that VCs are mostly interested in DeFi and infrastructure projects right now. So still investing in some fundamentals like layer ones, layer twos, DEXs, liquidity providers, and yield generators. So kind of similar how it started last bull run. Second priority is probably AI and RWA with Deepin. And probably the less interesting right now is gamify and socialfy. It was a big, it was a main narrative last bull run, but it failed terribly in terms of ROIs for a lot of VCs. So now they are very cautious, and also market is quite oversaturated. There are still a lot of projects from last bull run that are in fundraising up till now, so like more than 2 years. Um, but there is one narrative that is definitely coming up. This is the Notcoin um, Black Swan, if we can say so. So, Ton ecosystem and Telegram App Store is definitely something new that we see also in gamify. So this tap to earn game, maybe you heard about Hamster Combat,
Yeah.
Plum, and a lot of others. So these new narratives are they are similar in some way. They are similar to meme coins, but it's a bit different because well, meme coins serve one positive purpose in general. They attract attention from Web2 people to crypto. So they serve as some kind of weird mass adoption mechanism. Tap to earn games in Telegram do the same. So it's an incredible mass adoption tool for crypto in general because Telegram is 1 billion users, like almost 900 million something, and growing very fast. So now all those people got access to Telegram App Store. They got access to Ton blockchain where they can buy USDT almost seamlessly, and they have peer-to-peer market. And on the Telegram App Store, they can use all those apps. They collect some points in different games. There are other games, game mechanics, not only tap to earn. Um, but in general, those apps are seeing huge traction. Like a couple of our projects are beyond millions of users in a matter of months, which is unseen in crypto. Like if you can name project that is like was born in 2024 and it has already more than 1 million at least followers on Twitter, not to mention real app users. Well, basically, I don't know if such exists from the newest ones, but it works on Telegram. So those people who converted to players of those games on Telegram, eventually, when those tokens will be launched, same as with Notcoin, those points will be converted into tokens, and some portion, maybe not all, some portion of those people will be interested in how to convert them to what seem to be digital money. And they will start researching and actually onboarding to Web3. So, in my opinion, this narrative is very positive. So, from one uh, direction, we have ETFs, which is institutional adoption. And from retail, we have this new amazing Telegram opportunities, uh, which can bring a lot of people. So we are closely monitoring. We're actually helping three projects with fundraising right now that are related to Telegram or Ton ecosystem. So I think this is very interesting to see, and we'll definitely see more and more projects like Notcoin happening. But still, what I can recommend, I don't know if there are how many founders are listening or just team members of crypto projects. For marketing, my advice would be um, build a Telegram app. It doesn't matter what your project is about. If you need relatively cheap user acquisition, you can create a lead magnet in a form of Telegram app. And it can be also something dumb and silly but fun, like Tap to Earn, very simple, or it can be something more relevant to your project. It can be not a game, it can be a utility, like a tool as well. But if you do that and if you create viral mechanics, if you promote this, I think you'll get a lot of attention on Telegram. Even if you get like 200,000 people using it, it's still a lot for crypto. And those people will eventually convert to users of your main product. And I think this can be, for now, still it's new. So people are jumping in. There are a handful of apps in that app store compared to, you know, real app stores, popular ones. So yeah, for now, visibility is very good. There is also a new app section, so you'll be featured there for some time. So I think it's a great mechanism, and more projects will soon realize that they have to build Telegram app before they release anything else.
This is
Yeah.
a great opportunity for everyone. I agree with you, and a very thorough description of real potential of Telegram and applications there. So, but we've heard about three for good initiatives. Do you see this really taking hold in emerging markets? Like, what are the biggest potential social impacts, positive or negative? Because all this tap or hamster things are good, but where is the real value? Can we maybe try to shift this market into educational and positive social impact? What do you think?
Well, as I mentioned, all those people will eventually get interested in how those collected points can be converted. So they will start exploring blockchain. And good thing Telegram is very, like, people are familiar with the interface. They like it a lot, and um, everything happens there in a seamless way. So it's very easy to create a wallet. It's basically you already have a wallet, and topping it up is also like a standard process with your bank account or your card. So this is easy for mass adoption, and people don't have to leave Telegram in order to uh, do crypto stuff. So I don't even know if they would need to go on exchanges. Probably if the project will be launched on some exchanges, then and you have to transfer your tokens there, they will need to go beyond. But in general, I think a lot of people will have Telegram as one of their main crypto apps, especially those people who are coming from Web 2 and never heard or heard not enough about centralized exchanges, not to mention other Web3 wallets like MetaMask. So in terms of other useful cases, well, I think there are plenty of projects that are now bringing value and I'd say revolutionizing a lot of Web2 industries. Take DeFi, for example. It's just uncomparable how DeFi works, um, if you think about traditional finance, right? So you can basically go on some website, connect your wallet, and take a loan, deposit your assets, and take a loan in other tokens. So, for example, like on Aave or other companies out there, and nobody can stop you, and everything happens instantly. It's all governed by the smart contract. Um, I'm not sure if anyone from traditional finance can create something like this without the blockchain technology. So simplicity of this, when people will start getting it, how it works and how useful it is, how unique, how cool it is, and also, of course, the yield is quite high compared to your average bank returns. So yeah, it's not only about lucrative part of DeFi, it's also about simplicity and access. So yeah, so these two things I think are just on top of my from the top of my head. I'm sure there are many, many more ways blockchain will revolutionize the whole world. But yeah, mass adoption through Messenger app and um, managing your finance is definitely interesting to observe. I can also add here that basically what Web3 and blockchain technology does to the world is giving back freedom and control over money to people. So it's kind of taking that control from governments back to people where it's supposed to be. So this is actually not something like the the feeling of it. I always had a feeling of this narrative, but it was articulated by one of the speakers from the previous AMA session, and I totally agree with that. I think we should um, like have this in mind that we are in a space that is actually bringing back freedom of finance.
True. Uh, it is indeed. And, you know, mm, I really would like to imagine sometimes a world where blockchain technology allows people um, easy access to financial services, healthcare, and education everywhere. And that's the promise of Web3 for good. It could empower communities, promote financial inclusion, and even help tackle climate changes maybe. For example, decentralized platforms could help farmers, as this is my favorite example, in developing countries get access to fair prices for their crops, or allow communities to manage their own resources more effectively. I don't know. Another concern is digital literacy, actually, and this is what I try to do here. Understanding how blockchain works and navigating these technologies can be challenging even for people in developed countries as well. Plus, we need to be mindful of the potential for exploitation and inequality, because if Web3 technologies are developed and implemented without careful consideration, they could create new forms of exclusion or even, I don't know, exacerbate existing inequalities. So, as for Web3 has the potential for good in emerging markets, yes, it is. It's crucial to address, however, the challenges and ensure that these technologies are developed and implemented in a way that benefits everyone. It's about finding a way to harness the power of Web3 to empower communities and build a more equitable and sustainable future. Okay, so we talked about the potential of Web3 in emerging markets, but let's be realistic. What are the biggest obstacles you see? We're not just talking about the regulation, but the real challenges on the ground.
Oh, I totally agree. As you just mentioned that the barrier of entry is still very high, and mass media isn't really helping because a lot of people, especially with like financial knowledge, financial education, if they read about crypto only like from mass media articles, from YouTube videos and news, uh, they would probably be uh, against, or at least will stay away, um, because it's all mostly either about hype, like something skyrocketed, or about some scams that happened and like money got stolen and stuff like this. So news isn't really helping mass adoption, which is kind of a paradox because that's news should be doing exactly that. Um, but also the obstacles can be in the learning curve when you start your crypto journey for the first time, when you're on board, when you deposit some funds in any way. Um, you can actually easily lose them, and especially if it's a person from traditional finance, buying some token, even like solid one like Ethereum or I don't know BNB, if it goes like 10% or 20% down in a week, uh, person from traditional finance, he will be very scared and very disappointed. So um, eventually he will learn that this is absolutely fine and you don't have to worry. Prices are highly volatile, stuff like this. But when you just join, if you just follow, I don't know, Binance onboarding process or any other exchange, it doesn't really mention that it's very volatile. So you don't have to sell or panic sell. So a lot of people will have to just go through this fear and doubt on their own because and it will resonate with them in a bad way because probably they watch some YouTube videos and learned that you can make a lot of money in a very short period of time if you just buy those tokens. So when they will see that they are losing money, they can be very negative and very disappointed. So yeah, proper education, like the learning curve, for the adoption is very important, and it doesn't rely on educate on the regulations because usually there are non-regulations like for how to trade and stuff like this. It's more on the mechanics and um, mentors or gurus. Basically, it's on us on people who are already in Web3 for a longer period of time to explain and help with onboarding for our friends, relatives, and everybody else we see express interest in Web3.
Whoa, yeah, true. Financial literacy for sure, guys. But as well, I want to note that trust and security are critical concerns. There's a history of scams and fraud in emerging markets, which can make people hesitant to trust new technologies. It's like being very of a new friend you haven't met before. So overcoming some obstacles requires collaborative effort. That's why I just try to engage community to learn more, to stay curious, to stay informed about the news and so on. It's a journey, not a sprint, but with a careful planning and collaboration, we can unlock the potential for Web3 for everyone for sure. But I have a doubt. We've heard a lot about the decentralization of Web3, but in these emerging markets, do you see this happening organically or will it be driven by external forces like who will be the real decentralizers?
Well, it's hard to tell how it will happen, but we definitely need more decentralization in crypto. And for now, we basically have Bitcoin as the only truly decentralized protocol out there. Ethereum is, of course, the follow-up and second after Bitcoin, but still, it's not ideally decentralized. It still doesn't have such decentralization. But and not to mention other currencies. So other tokens are even less decentralized, which is improving, but we do not know what will happen in the future and how vulnerable those protocols might be. Um, Still, the situation is going, I think it's going in the right direction because more and more projects um, rely on decentralization and on older or I would say upgraded proof of work algorithms rather than others that do not really require like true decentralization. Um, So yeah, like who will be the real decentralization? It's hard to tell because everything evolving so fast, so many technologies happening right now. We already have those layer twos, layer threes that are speeding up a lot of chains and and so many non-EVM compatible chains are out there, like Solana, for example. So let's see. Let's see. Solana is not that decentralized compared to Ethereum, um, but that's what that's actually why it's fast, but not that secure. So for now, it's all about compromises. Ethereum is slow and expensive, but it's relatively decentralized. Solana is fast and cheap, however, it's not that secure. So yeah, for now it's one or the other, but let's see how it will be later on.
Yeah, let's see. Because decentralization in Web3 is a hot topic, but in emerging markets, not straightforward as it might seem. It's not just about technology, and while the technology for decentralization exists, it's not necessarily going to just magically happen organically. And In emerging markets, many communities are already dealing with power imbalances and lack of access and to resources. So the question becomes who will be the ones to push for decentralization, maybe. It could be external forces like international organization or tech companies bringing in resources and expertise, but this can lead to unintended consequences like creating dependency or imposing solutions that don't fit the local contexts. And alternatively, it could be driven by local communities themselves, fueled by a desire for greater autonomy and control. Maybe. Ultimately, achieving true decentralization in emerging markets will require a delicate balance of external support and internal empowerment. It's a complex journey with no easy answers, but the potential rewards make it worthwhile pursuit, isn't it? I I think yeah, and I think that maybe we can talk a little bit more beyond the hype. What are some of the practical use cases for Web3 technology that could have the biggest impact on everyday life in these emerging markets? What do you think, Michael?
One of the examples can probably be RWA projects. Uh, just for example, if we tokenize um, some raw materials, like just like say gold, for example, and you can actually buy any fraction of gold that you want, and that can be actually traded. Your token can actually be traded back and forth for real money, like you actually own gold. So basically, you will own gold without having all the physical part of it. And similar situation with, for example, real estate investment, where you can tokenize um, any building or any apartment. Ideally, I suppose that everything is going into the direction that the whole world will be tokenized and everything will be tradable on blockchain, and you will be able to exchange items, barter them, or just sell and buy for any other tokens, which will be like uh, I don't know, a gazillion market. Because just imagine how much everything that we've built on the planet is worth. So that can be probably the market of everything, and RWA is on that track because we already seen projects that are trying to tokenize like as much as possible. So this is definitely the trend, and it's very useful. It's so many new applications, so many new possibilities. It's even hard to describe. Like just to name a few, you can spend $100 and buy a fraction of an apartment NFT in I don't know, some luxurious apartment, or say yacht or whatever. And every time that brings dividends, you will be receiving a fraction of that. So currently, it's not possible through traditional finance. It's very hard. And also, if you're just bored having that fractional NFT, you can just sell it on a marketplace like OpenSea, for example, to some other person. And probably that property went up in value. So your NFT price went up in value. So you can make money not only on their real estate or real world asset dividends, but also on the asset appreciation. And I'm sure there will be a whole market of DeFi that will be working around this. So yeah, just one example in RWA, but of course there are plenty in other things because basically every new blockchain that we see claims to solve another cluster of uh, issues and address certain hot topics, both in blockchain and in real world.
Correct. Well, the hype around Web3 is undeniable. I think that its true potential lies in solving real world problems and improving lives, especially in emerging markets where access to traditional services is often limited. It can be, of course, financial inclusion like cross border payments or um, identity and property ownership with land titling and digital identity. But I'm more into education, healthcare, agriculture, and a little bit in environmental sustainability. I want to look through renewable energy trading. How that decentralized platforms can facilitate the trading of renewable energy, enabling peer-to-peer energy exchange and promoting clean energy adoption. It's going to be good for the planet. So yeah, and the relative challenges, but fostering a collaboration between stakeholders, Web3 can empower individuals, promote economic growth, and improve lives in emerging markets, making it a transformative force for good, for sure. Um, Maybe we can also discuss some ethical considerations that VCs need to grapple with when investing in the three projects and conclude the episode so listeners don't get bored. How can VC ensure that their investments align with the responsible and sustainable practices, Michael?
Well, it depends what you call responsible and sustainable. If you mean like the blockchain that project is building on top or trying to create, if it's producing a lot of CO2 when it works, or what exactly do you mean by responsibility here?
um, just about how to about some I want to talk about ethical considerations about what you're saying, what you are building here, what kind of impacts it's gonna do.
Okay, so I think when VC decides to invest, um, currently it doesn't. They not always do the proper due diligence. Sometimes they're just investing emotionally because they are FOMOing and everybody already invested and stuff like this. So we've seen a lot of top tier projects with tier one VCs on board failing, getting rugged, and stuff like this. So a lot of investors, mostly not only of course, but mostly retail, lost a lot of money from that. So I think this is the main ethical part, at least what I see from my um, venture and fundraising perspective. This cases they also happen in that too, of course, but uh, some of them can be avoided um, if people or VCs just do more due diligence. That's what how we started our Twitter space, and we are getting back to that again. That due diligence is something that is lacking, and each VC um, should conduct it on its own and not be dependent on the previous even 10 backers, even if they are higher tier and stuff like this. So I would say that situation now is a little bit improving compared to previous. Um, mid-market, if we can say that we are now somewhere in the middle between bear and bull. So now there is more time, so VCs can actually take a more see and hear a lot of interesting stories, similar to how it was with FTX and Luna. Um, Maybe not at that scale, but maybe bigger. Who knows? Um, which is kind of, I don't know if it answers the question or not. Um, but from fundraising perspective, this is definitely an issue. Uh, Getting rugged by investing in a project, it's probably one of the worst thing that can happen, and they also bring negative PR for mass adoption.
Yeah, that's why I think that VCs can ensure their investments align with some sustainable practices, like we can develop ethical investments frameworks and due diligence protocols specifically tailored for Web3 projects, and actively engage with the Web3 community to understand emerging ethical challenges and best practices. Holding investee companies accountable for their ethical practices and environmental impact as well, because we have it is a very broader topic. So yeah, just thinking, I think just morally, please prioritize some moral ethical considerations, because VCs can contribute to building a responsible future for Web3. And the risk can be a real innovation or meme coins. And yeah, I think maybe we can have some final thoughts for our listeners, Michael.
Yeah, sure. I think this cycle, this bull run will be exceptional. It seems like we are on a different path a little bit. The cycle will be different because of the ETFs, both like Bitcoin and probably future Ethereum and maybe Solana. I think 2025 is going to be a big year for crypto. Um, Maybe institutional money will be coming in fast, and then we'll see a very fast cycle, or they will be coming slower, and uh, we will see basically the opposite, a very long growth cycle. But yeah, it's really hard to tell on the institutional side. Not sure how they will behave, but it's definitely either way, it's a good sign that institutional investors now can easily basically buy crypto. So yeah, I say we all buckle up for a very interesting ride, and still have to be calm and no FOMOing, and just yeah, learn a lot that happened previous cycles. If you are new to crypto, that will be the best things to do. You can even review videos of your favorite crypto influencers. Just rewind back a couple years, see what they've been shilling, how they talked about some projects, check what those projects are doing now, and yeah, you'll see that there is still there will be a lot of similarities, um, and probably you can learn a lot of mistakes that people were doing last cycle. If you already been through a couple cycles, then you know what to do. You basically probably have bought a lot of tokens when they were with a huge discount last bear market. So just hodl or sell them at peak, whatever that will be for you. But also, yeah, keep an eye on new projects. There are
a whole lot of them coming out already. Some of them have crazy potential in the moment. Others will probably become more substantial in the future. So learn how to analyze them, see who is it on the team, who's the backers, what's the tokenomics, um, what's the market cap for them. And yeah, also learn DeFi, explore those passive yield generating opportunities, learn how liquidity pools work, and basically you have a lot of really good instruments available right now. So you can go on launch pads, you can grab those um, freshly baked projects at public sales. um, you can deposit stable coins or any tokens that are just sitting there in your wallets. You can deposit them through DeFi and provide liquidity. Um, you can trade if you want. There are lots of information on that. I'm just not really into it. But yeah, plenty of other opportunities as well. So just learn, educate yourself, and yeah, not fall for same mistakes that were happening last time.
Thank you. Thank you for very valuable thoughts, Michael. And there you have it, folks. Another captivating dive into the world of Web3 and its intricate connection with emerging markets. As we wrap up this episode, it's clear that the journey ahead is brimming with possibilities and challenges alike. It's a journey that requires us to be both, optimistic and critical in one time, to embrace the potential of this technology, but of course recognize the ethical and practical hurdles that lie ahead. Of course, you should do it, guys. And as we continue to explore this dynamic landscape, we invite you to share your thoughts and insights with us. Please share some comments under this tweet, and drop a follow to the speaker and the host, please. And until next time, keep your eyes on the horizon, your minds open, and your wallets ready for the exciting new wave of innovation that's about to sweep across the globe. It was Pauli from its Capital Transparent Market Making Company. And yeah, thank you guys. Bye bye. Bye, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.